remember me. Though I have to say goodbye, remember me. Don't let it make you cry, for even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart, remember me.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here and welcome to my review of Coco, Pixar's 19th animated feature film and the second most recent Pixar film after Incredibles 2. So with Coco, what we have here is a story about a boy travelling to the spirit world, the land of the dead, basically, around Mexico's Day of the Dead festival. This is set in Mexico, by the way, and it's based on the Mexican holiday. In fact, Day of the Dead seems to be a popular choice for movies nowadays, with this, The Book of Life from 2014, and of course being in the opening sequence of Spectre. So, yeah, Day of the Dead seems to be a popular topic all of a sudden. I suppose this film was already in development before, or around the same time as Book of Life's release, and Spectre, well, that's only one scene. Or scene, a couple of scenes anyway. So, with this film, we get to see a young boy in a family where music is basically banned, cough cough, Little Mermaid free, cough cough. Well, not really land, the land doesn't ban it, it's just the family, but he wants to be a musician, and so he attempts to go to a kind of a talent show, but he ends up in the spirit world, whilst playing his great-grandfather's, great-great-grandfather's old guitar. So he's sent to the spirit world, meets his old family, and then is on a quest to find his great-great-grandfather, who he believes was a musician. This really famous musician guy. However, it actually turns out to be another guy who the main musician guy stole all the songs and stuff from the real great-great-grandfather, and that, spoiler alert, kills him for it as he attempts to go home to his family. Christ, no wonder they forgot all about him, or nearly forgot. So, it's a race against time to have him be remembered by his daughter, who is great-grandmother of the main character, Miguel, and it's also Miguel's great-grandmother, who is called Coco, by the way, hence the title. Makes sense, I suppose. I did want to know why it was called Coco, even though Walt in their one of their PIXAR Facebook things already mentioned it. There's also some great character moments with the family, especially with the great-great-grandmother having to bring up the fact that she used to love music before her husband left. And she sort of does understand Miguel's thing, but she doesn't completely accept it until later on. And she kind of goes through a bit of change as well. The family in the real world are a bit prickish to start off with. We'll do a whole band, but eventually they eventually realise that it's a good thing at the end, and they eventually turn nice. If there's a sequel to this film, I'm sure they'll be a lot nicer and more accepting of it. Yeah, certainly if that last scene was anything to go by. And I was actually expecting the villain to actually have an end, a death, but I guess as in there in the land of the dead, he could just be disgraced as much as possible. And that's pretty much all they could do to him. But in the real world, they could definitely dishonour him more. Speaking of the villain, he is a pretty good villain, but I don't think he's amazing. I think he's great for this film, and it does work as a kind of a twist villain. Although it does kind of go into the same... this, as well as also Incredibles 2, they kind of go into the same category as what they've got twist villains that Disney, certainly with Disney's animated classics, have been doing ever since 2012 with Wreck-It Ralph. They've been having twist villains in their films, with King Candy turning out to be Turbo in Wreck-It Ralph, Hans in Frozen being a villain, which I really liked, by the way. And Big Hero 6, it was a guy who was presumed dead. I can't remember his name. Was it Callum? But he was presumed dead, and they thought it was some other guy, also played by Alan Tudyk, who played King Candy, and also another villain in Frozen. But that one, in the case of the latter, that was one we knew was kind of going to be trouble in the from the get-go. That was the Duke of Westleton. In Zootropolis, Mayor Bellwether turned out to be the villain. And in Moana, the evil kind of spirit person turned out to be the island spirit, but in another form. That one was less of a twist than the other ones, but it was just like kind of not too far off the same bat. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Frozen 2 had twist villains that weren't. In the case of Frozen 2, wasn't Hans or the Duke, as they'll most likely be back for that one. With Wreck-It Ralph 2, will probably besides characters who appeared in other films like the Stormtroopers, for example. Besides those ones, brand new characters basically. There'll probably be a brand new villain character. So the villain for this film, and also I would say Incredibles 2 as well, they fall into that same category. So next, so Wreck-It Ralph 2, I'm hoping they don't do a twist villain. If there is going to be one at all. In the Finding Nemo films, there wasn't really an all-out villain other than Darla. There certainly wasn't in Finding Dory an all-out villain. Same for the Cars third film, the third Cars film, unless you count Jackson Storm, but I don't count him as a villain. Or Inside Out, that didn't really have a main villain either. There isn't really that many villains in Pixar films recently. Certainly before Coco. I think the last main villain was probably the return of Randall in Monsters University. There might be one in the dinosaur film, but certainly I think the villain in this film is probably the first most notable villain since Randall's second appearance, or since the bear in Brave. Definitely a villain in that film. And the last most notable villain was either Eddie Izzard's character or a couple of the other villains in Cars 2, or Lotso Hugging Bear from Toy Story 3. So, but anyway, he's still a good villain. And anyway, I've been rambling about villains for a long time, haven't I? I'm sorry. Let's wrap this up. This is a really good. So Coco is a really great film and has some great moments, and the songs are very good, and also I like the Mexican setting. And it's a very well story. I guess with Finding Nemo and other Pixar films, families can watch it and relationships could kind of improve and develop after watching the film, or whilst watching the film even. I don't think it's on the same level as Nemo, but it's still very high up. I would probably put it above Dory, just that bit higher. I think it's got quite a lot of great moments. So I'm going to give Coco a 9 out of 10. I don't really have amounts of niggles. I just don't think it's a 100% perfect story. I think the most niggles have come with the stuff with the family towards the start. But for most of the film, it's a great timeless animated classic that's gonna be well remembered. Well, I say modern animated classic, that is. I do prefer The Incredibles 2 though. So I think, well, with 2017 films, this was technically a 2017 film, but we got it in the UK in 2018. In terms of 2017 films, yes, it is better than Cars 3. If it came out in 2017, if I saw it in 2017, it probably would be in the top 5. It might knock out Force Awakens. No, Force Awakens I gave a 10. It'd probably be just around the Wonder Woman, Spider-Man Homecoming area. As for 2018 films, because it came out in the UK in 2018, so I would have seen it. If I saw it at the cinema, it would have been a 2018 one. I kind of wish I did see it at the cinema now. Same with Finding Dory in 2016. If it was, I think that would probably be in the top 5 or just be knocked out of the top 5, but only very recently. So yeah, but it's still a great film. Such a it's got some marvellous moments, and it looks visually stunning as well. They've done a great job. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching. The next film review on the Nicholas Payne Retro channel should be the 1987 classic Predator. That should be the next one. We'll see. And then there might be some more Pixar ones following that. Hopefully, and then Predator 2. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Remember me, though I have to travel far, remember me. Each time you hear a sad guitar, know that I'm with you the only way that I can be. Until you're in my arms again, remember me.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nick Payne Extra YouTube channel. I think, never mind. Still got some